Read each passage and answer the question that follows. Chuck Berry also revolutionized guitar showmanship with his signature duck walk. It involved playing guitar while squatting and moving forward. One leg would swing back and forth in the air while he hopped on the other. Chuck Berry has shined a light on many rock stars' paths. Even the Beatles' John Lennon credited Berry's sound and style. He said, "If you tried to give rock and roll another name, you might call it Chuck Berry." Based on the text, which statement best explains the figurative meaning of the phrase, "has shined a light on many rock stars' paths"? A, made it possible for musicians to play rock and roll for a living. B, drew attention to the talents of other rock musicians, making them famous. C, helped musicians learn their craft by studying his songwriting and performing. D, exposed the secrets of rock musicians and the music business. Read the passage below and answer questions 2 through 5 that follow. A snowy surprise. Samuel looked out the front door one morning and his jaw dropped to the floor. His eyes immediately widened. During the night, 3 feet of beautiful snow had coated his neighborhood. Everything was as white as a cloud. Samuel dashed up the stairs to his sister's room. "Wake up, Marnie," he shouted. "It snowed last night. Come on." Marnie flew from her bed, dressed and pulled on her boots, mittens, and winter coat. Then she and her brother burst out the front door into the white blanket that frosted the lawn. They made snow angels. Marnie decided to toss a snowball at Samuel. It exploded on his back. He laughed and gathered up some snow of his own. He hurled a snowball back at Marnie, and she screamed with glee. They were as happy as clowns. Marnie gathered a giant ball of snow, cradling it with both hands. "Hey, let's build a snowman," Samuel yelled, running away from Marnie. "You're just trying to get out of being hit with my snowball," Marnie shot back out of breath. "You're right," Samuel yelled back, laughing. Number 2. When the story says that Marnie flew from her bed, it means that A, she grew wings and flew. B, she fell out of bed. C, she leaped up quickly. D, she was thrown into the air. Number 3. When the story states that Samuel and Marnie were as happy as clowns, it means that A, they looked a lot like clowns. B, they were tired. C, they loved the circus. D, they were overjoyed. Number 4. What is the meaning of the phrase, "everything was as white as a cloud"? A, clouds were covering the front yard. B, snow covered everything. C, snow fell in the shape of clouds. D, someone had painted everything white. Number 5. When the story says that Samuel's jaw dropped to the floor, it means that A, Samuel was shocked at what he saw. B, Samuel talked very quickly. C, Samuel was still chewing his breakfast. D, Samuel bumped his jaw that morning. Read the passage and answer questions 6 and 7 that follow. There was once a neighborhood where people lived in small, low houses with open yards. Flowers grew in front of these houses and children played on the front lawns. Everyone knew each other and everyone watched out for each other. When a child cried, all the neighbors came running. Then one day, Mr. Folderoy woke up and noticed his neighbor's dog rooting in his rose bushes. This has happened one too many times, he thought. That afternoon, he split some wood and built a low wooden fence just high enough to keep the dog out. Nobody had ever thought of building a fence before, and soon the news spread around the neighborhood. "What a good idea," said the neighbors. "Let's build one too." Soon, everyone had low wooden fences. The neighbors were all very pleased with their fences, and they went on living more or less as they had before. Then Mrs. Mortuary was sitting on her sun porch, rocking on a rocking chair, when a neighbor waved. Mrs. Mortuary was in a private mood and felt annoyed. "This is my porch," she thought. "I deserve some privacy. What I need is a better fence." So she hired some workers to make one. When completed, the fence was very high. So high that she could see nothing of her neighbor's yard and her neighbor could see nothing of hers. So everyone was building higher and higher fences. Once they had a taste of the privacy, they couldn't stop. They grew high, thick shrubs, erected impenetrable gates, and installed shades in every window. Each house became a fortress, imposing and secretive. Soon, no one knew anything about anyone else. It was wonderful, the people said. But when Elaine Foley's baby came a month too early, she screamed and nobody heard her. When children fell and stubbed their toes, no neighbors came running. When Thanksgiving came, people no longer went door to door distributing food and greeting neighbors. A coldness fell over the neighborhood. And when neighbors passed each other on the street, their eyes glazed over and they nodded coldly. It was as if they carried their fences wherever they went. Number 6. What is the central symbol of the passage? A, the children. B, the neighbors. C, the fence. D, Thanksgiving. Which of the following passages below from the story is the place when the object starts to carry symbolic value in the story? A, quote, when a child cried, all the neighbors came running. B, quote, then one day, Mr. Folderoy woke up and noticed his neighbor's dog rooting in his rose bushes. This had happened one too many times, he thought. That afternoon, he split some wood and built a low wooden fence, just high enough to keep the dog out. C. Mrs. Mortuary was in a private mood and felt annoyed. This is my porch, she thought. I deserve some privacy. What I need is a better fence. D. And when neighbors passed each other on the street, their eyes glazed over and they nodded coldly. It was as if they carried their fences wherever they went. Read the following poem and answer questions 8 through 10 that follow. Hockey by Scott Blame. The ice is smooth, smooth, smooth. The air bites to the center of warmth and flesh, and I whirl. It begins in a game. The puck swims, swims, veers, goes, leading my vision beyond the chasing reach of my stick. The air is sharp, still sharp. I suck needles of breathing and feel the players converge. It grows to a science. We clot, break, dive. Electrons in motion in the magnetic pull of the puck. The play is fast, fierce, tense. Sticks click and snap like teeth of wolves on the scent of a prey. It ends in the kill. I am one of the pack in a mad, taut leap of desperation and the wild, slashing drive for the goal. Number 8. In lines 3 and 4, the comparison of the air and biting is done by the author in order to A. Show how fast the hockey players were skating. B. Show how cold the air was. C. Paint a picture of people dizzy from competing. D. Demonstrate how much the narrator wanted to win. Number 9. The author uses the phrase electrons in motion in line 13 to A. Show how fast the hockey players were skating. B. Show that there could be an explosion at any moment. C. Show that hockey uses magnetism to get the puck moving fast. D. Give a visual image of the hockey puck's movement on the ice. Number 10. The narrator's description of the hockey stick's quick movement after the hockey puck is an example of A. Metaphor. B. Vivid detail. C. Personification. D. Simile.